Shalom everyone, and welcome to Smoking Truth TV. This is show number 12, and the title for this video is Why is John the Hero? In today's show, I'm going to be talking about why the name John is used a lot in the movies we watch. You know, them certain type of movies that get pumped out by the R-registered trademark logo and the Hollywood companies. I'm also going to be looking at some scripture and the reasons to why they push the chosen one in these types of films and movies. So without any further delay, let's just jump straight into this one. Commando. In this movie we see Arnold Schwarzenegger playing the action hero while he is on a quest to save his daughter by any means possible. The weird thing is, can any of you remember his name in this movie? Well, it turns out that his name just so happens to be Neo. Oops, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself there. What I meant to say was John Matrix. Talking of Keanu Reeves, does anyone remember the film Constantine? Personally, I much prefer the Matt Ryan's portrayal of the character, but sadly, this show was cancelled, most probably due to giving too many truths away. But as we see here, his name was John Constantine. A little side nugget, this Constantine character was based off Constantine of Rome. It says here Constantine, considered Rome's first Christian emperor, was himself a devotee of the sun god. The famous vision of the cross as he marched on Rome came to him from the sun. The sun appeared on most of his coins, and his own statue at Constantinople bore the rayed crown of the sun god. His coins were inscribed Solus Invictus Committee, meaning committed to the invincible sun. While claiming to be a Christian, Constantine maintained the title Pontifex Maximus, meaning the High Priest of Paganism. Another Constantinople Table of the High Priest Order film Keanu Reeves appears in is no other than John Wick. Wick, hey? We can only assume that the last name would translate to the light of the candle, making the whole title translate to one light or the light of the one. In fact, let's clear some of this whole one thing up with another Keanu Reeves film, The Matrix and the Unholy Trinity. I mean, even the third film in the franchise is called Revolutions, or could it be Revelations? Look, I'm not going to sit here all afternoon breaking down these Matrix movies, as this is not what this particular show is about. Besides, I'm sure most of you that are watching this video most probably already know most of it anyway. I have talked about Neo in the past in show 4 entitled Energy Waves with the Movie Twist, that you're more than welcome to check out. But what I am going to do is show you some in-verse information I found on Wikipedia regarding The Matrix. As some of you may know, Keanu's name in these movies is Thomas A. Anderson. His alias name, however, is Neo, and he also goes by the nickname The Anomaly. But most people know him as The One. As it states here, occupation hacker, The One, that's also an anagram for Neo. And what do you know, his father's name just so happens to be John Anderson, and we get the unholy trinity from his spouse. Not only do we get the name John and the One, but also the last name Anderson, making this code the One and Son. This next movie franchise I'm going to be talking about is called Rambo, starring Sylvester Stallone. I have a few things I wanted to mention about this guy, and hopefully you will find them as interesting as I did when I stumbled across them. One of them being, I didn't know his middle name was Gardenzio. It was then I decided to do an anagram on his whole name just out of curiosity, and by using all the letters it seems to translate L's Garden 1 Star Lives. That then left me with just 4 letters, and them being OZTY. Or OZT, meaning intelligence, strong and great lover. As this article says, OZT meaning intelligence, great lover and strong. If you go searching for a picture of OZTI, you may come across a picture similar to this one, but this time it is spelt OTZI or OTZI, where we see a man with the archer's bow strapped to his back. Well, That's the first picture that came up on my search, but with a little more digging you will also find it can mean a man from the supposed Ice Age. And in the famous Rambo movies we see the Oztai with the bow and arrow. This tale was told in 5 chapters, the first being released in 1982 and the last in 2019, and as we can see his name just so happens to be called John. I did do another anagram on Sylvester Gardenzio's Stallone. This time it made the phrase "Let L in, 1 star saves Zion," and with the last 2 letters left over coincidentally translates to the number 66. Anyway, let's move on to the next movie. This is Sparta! Oops, sorry, wrong movie. What I was meant to say was, this is John Spartan, or One Satan, however you want to look at it. And just like in the movie Rambo, we see again Sylvester Gardenzio Stallone playing the One Iceman Otzi. Only this time he is brought back to the land of the living after being frozen in ice for 36 years. Or could that be 3 sixes? I'm telling you man, this script is writing itself at this point, it's just too easy to see through all their BS. Anyway, this film is called Demolition Man, and if you wanted to know where humanity was heading, this is a good film to watch. Oh, and by the way, the main villain in this movie, that's played by Wesley Snipes, well his name just so happens to be Simon Phoenix. Can you please let me know in the comments below if you have seen this movie and can tell me how they actually use the 3 seashells. Anyway, as time is precious on this app I'm using, let's move to the next movie franchise. Die Hard, or should I say, a certain September production movie. I could talk about this puppetized event and the many movies and cartoons that predicted this date, but let's not get sidetracked again. As we know, this character is played by Bruce Willis and he's a New York City detective. And what do you know, his name in this movie franchise is no other than John McClane, or we could say One-Eye Man 33. Looking at his Freemasonic pentagram badge he wears, we can also see that it's displaying one of their main objectives, as in Order 66, or another way to look at this number would be 666 and 33. This next film won't need much decoding as it blatantly creeps up on you like a ninja and slaps you in the face, awakening you from your slumber. It's simply called The One. The funny thing to me about this movie is the actor's name being Jet Li. They may as well called him Yet Another Lie. I would have liked to carry on and show you more movies where the one is symbolised, but I think I spent too much time on the Sly Old Fox and Kung Fu Keanu, so I will do just one more before we take a look at some Hebrew language and scripture. So this next September blockbuster movie is called Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and as you can see here this is the Skynet edition, but let's leave the whole Skynet topic for another day, shall we? So the film is centred around a young man called John Connor. There has been many people that have played the part of John Connor in this never-ending franchise, and even old Hail Satan himself, Christian Bale, has gotten in on the action too, or should we call him Constantine Baal. In this movie, as most of you already know, we also have John Matrix, sorry I meant Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays the Protector, or even Freedom Fighter if you will. I mean, what was the famous line? Wasn't it, "Come with me if you want to live"? Let's see what old John Matrix has to say about your freedom now. Oh Arnold, how could you have scooped so low? The problem is, it doesn't matter how many holes in the road you try and repair, there are some of us that will never forget your message of indoctrination. But getting back to the name John Connor, not only do we see again with him being the one, or chosen one, we can also make the word Corona as well, so we could even say one Corona. Besides, isn't this film based on a world apocalypse? And as we can see here, if you're from Ireland, you can spellcast the name Connor like so. Like I said earlier, there are so many more films where the one is the code, like John Carter, John Shaft, John Kimball, so on and so on, but I'll let you go digging for them yourselves. Let's now take a look into the scripture side of things now and see what we can find regarding the name John, with it being linked to the phrase the One. This article here is one of many that are scattered across the internet. It says here, the meaning of John means to be graced by Yah, and if that is indeed true, then we would have to say that if you are graced by Yah, then you are one of his sons. It continues to say it is of Hebrew origin and was originally spelt and known as Johanna before becoming John in the Freemasonic English-speaking countries. This part is interesting too, where it says the name means strength, intelligence and sincerity. Looking at the films that are on the list in the video sums up this name perfect, wouldn't you agree? This article also says the name John means Yah is gracious, but it also says the apostle expressed his special relationship with the Messiah in 5 verses. Example, now there was leaning on Yeshua's bosom one of his disciples who Yeshua loved. John 13:23. As I always say when investigating, always try and start at the beginning. So let's now take a look at the first 9 verses of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. He was in the beginning with Elohim. All came to be through him, and without him not even one came to be that came to be. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from Elohim, whose name was Johanna. This one came for witness, to bear witness of the light, that all might believe through him. He was not that light, but that he might bear witness of that light. He was the true light, which enlightens every man coming into the world. By looking into the scriptures, we can clearly see all the symbolism in the movies we have talked about today. And like I mentioned earlier, there are many more movies you will find that has the main character playing the hero that has the name John. And just like I mentioned in most of my other videos, don't just listen to me and run with it, or any man for that matter. We are all built with intuition, wisdom, no right from wrong, and if you really wanted to truly know the truth, it will be revealed to you. But once you have received it, your discernment BS meter will go into overdrive, and you will start to see that this world stage we're on is run by a bunch of puppet masters wanting to play God for their own fortune and luck. Anyway, it's a bit too late in the day for me to start going on another tangent, so I think I'll stop there for today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up and also subscribe for future content. And if you have any thoughts or ideas you would like to contribute to today's show, please don't hesitate to post your comments below. I thought it would be nice to close the show with some more scripture from the book of Johanna, this time from chapter 17, 19 to 23. And for them I set myself apart, so that they too might be set apart in truth. And I do not pray for those alone, but also those believing in me through their word, so that they might be one as you, Father, are in me, and I in you, so that they too might be one in us, so that the world might believe that you have sent me. And the esteem which you gave me I have given to them, so that they might be one as we are one. I in them and you in me, so that they might be perfect into one, so that the world knows that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me. And as Johanna also reminds us, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Take care out there, brothers and sisters, and I'll speak to you all again soon for some more Smoking Truth TV.